This I will take check-ins with traffic, cars, or any other net business.
I will take check-ins with traffic, comments, or any other net business. First letter, suffix, alpha, Zulu. Please call now.
Just check if there's still the school committee today. I'll teach us in a minute.
Bigger questions can be anything amateur radio related, from procedures to equipment. We'll now begin a general roll call. Station with or without traffic or announcements. First letter, suffix, A, B, or C. Please call now.
No one else had enough chance today. It's weird.
First letter, suffix, D, E, and F.
Oh, there you go. Stop at D, E, and F. Here is NL7FJ.
Whiskey Bravo 1, Echo Mondo. Dylan, Orphalin, Holyoke on battery power. No track. Good evening. Good evening to the net.
Here is NL7FJ, which in West Springfield. And I do not hear you. Thank you.
So with a good evening to WB1, EME. Check-in for the InfoNet. First letter, suffix, GH and I.
Kill Baba Kudu.
This is Whiskey 1, Hotel, Yankees, November. Jeff in South Hadley, commercial power tonight, no traffic, good evening all.
This is NLIPT, Jan and Holyoke. No traffic. Good day. Just put it back there.
Doubling our numbers, W1HY, good evening. From N1 FDC taking check-ins for the information net. First letter, suffix, JK and L. This is
Kilo Bravo 2 uniform. Come, we don't blame me on no trying to good day all out. I figured you're KD1KU, Ken and Chicopee.
And if I don't hear anybody out there, happy holidays to everybody. Here is Whiskey 1 Juliet Zulu Romeo. Gary here in Holyoke. No traffic to report. We're on the commercial power here at the station. And 2 meter side. Good evening to you, Phil, and good evening to all those on the net. For you too, Ken. Here is KA1KNW, Kilowatt Alpha 1, Kilowatt November Whiskey. Name here is Greg, Golf Radio Echo Golf, and I am mobile, and my current location is fooling along here on Route 190 in Somers, Connecticut. Back to you there, Phil.
How about West Suffield? Because I love you. So it's all part of Summers to West Suffield.
I think 3. All right. Good evening to Ken. KD1, KU, Garrett has joined us. W1, Jason R. Oh, with a Greg, Connecticut. KA1, KNW. Frequent visitor to good old Chico P. Good evening to Greg. All right. This is N1 FDC taking check-ins for the MTARA information net. Listening for check-ins. First letter, suffix, M, N, and O.
Here I am.
Here is Kilo Charlie 1, Oscar November Alpha, Brian Oberham, commercial power, no traffic. Good evening, Phil. Good evening, everybody. And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays if I don't talk to you between now and then.
US Kilo Charlie 1, November Zulu, Lima Sean,
Is
welcome in Springfield. No traffic. Good day, all.
here is Kilo Bravo 1, November Golf Hotel, KB1NGH, Scott, Springfield, commercial power this evening, commuter side, no traffic. Happy holidays to all.
Here is Kilo Bravo.
Kilowatt Bravo 1, November, Archer exit, 51 NOS. This is in Westfield. On the 441, battery power. Good evening, Phil. Good evening, Matt. Joe's going to be around next Wednesday night for 6:15. There's just a draw.
Doubling our numbers. Okay, we got KC1 NONA. Let's see, KC1 NOZ, KB1 GH, and KB1 NOX.
And a very special hello to Richard KB1 NOX to answer your question. There will be the regular nets on Christmas Eve. Taking further check-ins. First letter suffix P, Q, and R. Here is November 1, Papa, Victor X-Ray, Stephen Westfield. 2 meter side, no traffic. Good evening, all, and happy whatever holiday you want it to be. Happy to Steve and 1 PVX with Axel, probably at his side. Good evening to N1 PVX. Next call group is first letter suffix STNU.
This is the W1TOM repeater. PL127.3.
Alpha Alpha 1, Uniform Echo. Gary in Southampton on battery power with no traffic. Good evening, Phil, and happy holidays to everybody.
This is
KC1
This is Alpha Charlie 1 Tango Victor, Ellie in Northampton on battery power on the 70 centimeter side with no traffic. Happy holidays to the net.
This is Kilo Charlie 1, Sierra Echo Whiskey, Mike, West Springfield. Commercial power. And no traffic.
Good evening to all. This is Kilo Charlie 1, Tango something. I don't know what they do. I don't want to. We got Bob and Chicopee, commercial power, no traffic. Good day, all.
Kilo Charlie 1 Uniform Hotel India, Blue in Westfield on the commuter, commercial power, no traffic, and as I once heard in retail, season meetings to all, and good evening to the net.
This is Kilo Charlie 1, Whiskey 2 and Delta. Joe and Mudwell, commercial power, no traffic. Good day, all.
N1 FTC, NCS, welcoming Gary, A1 US, who just joined us also, AC1 TV, hello to Mike, KC1 SW, a fellow former retailer who's probably glad to, I'm glad I'm out of that trade. Welcoming KC1 UHI, this is N1 FTC, listening for the final call group of first letter suffix VW, SY and Z.
You in? Here's Kilo 1, Zero Wima, Scott, and Amherst, no traffic. Good day, all.
This is Kilo Charlie 1 Yankee, November, Greg in South Hadley. No traffic on battery power.
Is Kuski 1. Zulu Delta, Pretty, North Hadley, no traffic.
Victor Whiskey Bravo. Jerry
doubling our numbers again. We have, let's see, ZDD, KC1YDNN, KA1ZLL, and KC1VWB. This isn't one FDC, it's yes.
Oh, and hello to Jerry. KC1, VWB. This is November 1, Foxtrot, Delta Charlie, Net Control for the MTA area information net. Listening for further check-ins, Alpha through Zulu. Please call now.
Here is NL7FJ, Rich in West Springfield. Good evening, Phil. Good evening to the net.
Kilo Charlie 1 Tango. You got Bob and Jiggly, no traffic. So we got Bob and...
Is the top of the list welcoming? NL7FJ, how do you do, Rich? Are there any questions, comments, or further check-ins for this net? Questions can be anything amateur radio related, from procedures to equipment to, that's about it, everything. This is N1 FDC listening for questions, comments, or any other late check-ins.
This is KC1VWB with a question.
Always welcome, Jerry Casey with VWB. What do you have for us this evening? Ask away. This is N1 FDC NCF.
This is something we talked about last Wednesday on the second net, and that is, might somebody have a gin pool that they wouldn't mind lending out so I can put one more tower section on?
This is a good time to ask that. Jerry needs a JIT pole to put up a tower section. Can anybody help him out with that? Jerry. KC1 VWB needs a JIT pole once again. Can anyone help him with him getting a tower section if he needs the JIT pole? Yeah, so VWB, this is N1 FTC. What I can do is they try again next week, Jerry. With this bus, we would have had somebody with some piece of equipment. All right, are there any other questions, comments for late check-ins? Call N1 FTC.
This is Alpha Charlie 1 Tango Victor with a question.
Tango Victor, go ahead.
Thanks, Phil. I did another attempt to listen to the 10-meter net tonight. This time on my new Xiegu G90, which I just got. And I was once again not successful. This time I tried with a mag mount antenna on a girder structure on the roof of my building at Smith College. And I definitely heard the hints of some voices, but definitely nothing intelligible. So I'm wondering if anyone who was on that net tonight, who's on this one, would mind letting me know their location, just so I can get a sense of what distance of contact that was trying to be there. But apart from that, I would also invite any other comments about the 10-meter net and tips for getting on it. Back to net control. Anyone FTC, this is AC1 TV.
KNW.
TV, this is N1 FTC NCS. Let's see, that was probably indoors, inverted on a structure, and a lot of those buildings had lots of metal, rebar, that sort of thing, making them a Faraday cage. Back to you, Ellie.
Negative, actually. This was not indoors. This was outside on the roof. We have a sort of boardwalk structure on the roof of McConnell Hall here at Smith, where we have all the astronomy observatories. And so I threw my antenna on top of the girder structure that supports the sort of lid of one of the telescopes. So I am wired sky and with some good views of the mountains here too. So I was hoping I would get some range on my signal, but it seems that was really not in the cards. Back to you.
TV, this is N1FTC. Okay, you're outside the Faraday cage. Sounds like you actually had a bit of a ground plane there too. Let me give a call to W1JZR. Well, not this evening. Gary, over to you. W1JZR heard a call. N1FTC. Please repeat. D1 TV had a question about the 10-meter that we were on that this evening. No, I was not. I worked late tonight and got right to my dinner and missed it. Sorry about that, but glad to be here. Sorry I could not help. W1JZR, back to N1FTC.
Net control, this is KC1VWB with an input for that.
D1VWB, what do you have, Jerry? Over to you, sir. This is N1FTC. Yes, yeah.
This is the W1 TOM repeater, TL127.3.
If you want to take off the mic.
10-meter net tonight. I'm down in Southwick, Mass. If you threw a rock, I'd be in Connecticut. NL7FJ was on as well. He is in West Springfield. And K1VWQ Dan is also in Southwick. He was on. And last but not least, and you probably should have been able to at least hear him, Chris, NU10. He's in Long Meadow, but he runs high power. He's running 1,500 watts. I'm surprised you couldn't hear him. Back to you.
Yeah, that's the whole house warmer, not just a little heater. Okay, AC1 TV, this is N1FTC, yes. Did you get any information from that? Back to you.
TV, yes, thank you. That's helpful information. Most of those other stations that you listed are probably on the opposite side of the Mount Tom range from me right here. So I suppose what I need to do, which I already suppose I knew, is hike back up Mount Tom like I did a couple weeks ago and see if I can check into the net from there. But yeah, the other question I had about the 10-meter net was, are most people running vertical antennas for that, or are you using horizontal dipoles? Because I have a much better horizontal dipole setup ready to go, but I figured that with the band kind of closed at night, that it wasn't really worth trying to go for the slightly more directional, more skywave-oriented antenna, as it was going for an omnidirectional vertical. But, I mean, I guess what I really need to do is use whatever type of antenna everyone else on the net is using. So my question then is, are people using horizontal or vertical or what? Back to you, Net Control.
Yeah, you do get quite a bit of loss going vertical to horizontal and vice versa. Can anyone answer that question? What are most people using, vertical or horizontal on that net? And yeah, you got the mountain range in between. The ground wave would be a little bit difficult this time of day. Once again, an open question. Does anyone know what most folks are running on that net, vertical or horizontal?
KA1, KNW.
KA1, KNW. Please don't sir, N1FTC, MCS.
Okay, I don't know about the net, but I know most people on 10 meters are using vertical. You know, a lot of people are got old CB antennas and stuff that they're utilizing for 10 meters. And the other thought that came to mind is if you're doing this in like a college setting where there's a lot of people charging phones and all those little wall warts are in there charging away at things and Wi-Fi signals, there's a high floor noise which a lot of times does not get into the fundamental frequency of the radio, but it gets into the IF frequency, which is how the radio operates. So oftentimes you'll get all these interfering signals not getting in on the 9.4 or whatever your fundamental frequency is, but it can get in on your IF frequency, which is what your radio uses to convert signals from one thing to another. And oftentimes that'll desense the receiver, so you may not hear what you should hear because of all that electrical floor noise is what we call it in the industry, which is interfering with the radio itself. A lot of people that were on low band have to get off the low band for that reason. They have to get off 40 megs and get into UHF because of the floor noise situation. So whenever you're in a populated area like a college, a school, a shopping center, you're bound to get little descents coming in. Back to that. KA1, KNW Mobile.
This is KC1BWB with another comment on that.
Thank you for that. And yes, he says that at that level, it's probably a little bit more common than you might think. KC1FTW, what do you have? What radio sir? This is N1FDC. That's CS.
This is KC1BWB with a comment on antennas used tonight for at least two of us.
Okay, I got a couple of things going on here on the shack also. Go ahead. This is N1FDC.
I know for a fact that K1BWQ and KC1BWB, we're both using beams, so we're both in horizontal mode. I cannot speak for Chris or Rich. Back to you.
For that comment,
NL7FJ.
just about to call. Thank you for input. And what input do you have, sir? Over to you. FJ, go ahead. This is N1FDC.
Yeah, this is NL7FJ. Yeah, I'm using a horizontal dipole cobweb, if you will. And Chris, I think, is using a beam of some sort. And then Danny's, I know, is using a small mini beam on his 10 meters. And I guess Jerry's using the same thing. But just wondering what gentleman's at the college, what his noise level is. So I know Jerry's having some issues locally, and I had some high band noise for a while, but it died. And I didn't hear anybody else trying to get in. I took a break a couple of times and didn't hear anybody trying to get in. But if I'd known you were trying to get in today, I would have listened for you. But if you want to try it during the afternoon sometime, try to make a 10-meter contact to see if we can. I'm open to that. So anyway, back to net control. This is NL7FJ.
For the help, N7FJ, this is N1FDC. AC1TV, AC1TV, this is N1FDC. Was the further input any help? Back to you. AC1TV, yes, lots of good input there. Let's see, I'll see if I can acknowledge all of it. So regarding the interference from power supplies, that is a possibility. However, I was not really seeing what I would expect to see if QRM were my main issue tonight. I was not seeing repetitive pulses of interference or desensitization in my receiver, and when I was increasing my RF gain, I was hearing pretty much what I would expect for background noise. So I think I'm reasonably good on isolation from power supplies up here on this roof, but that could be an issue that I'll look into further. Resetting. Regarding the antenna polarization, it sounds like what I'm hearing is that I need to look into a broadside turn-style antenna, or maybe a quad ciliar helix, something that radiates circular polarization so that I can get both. I'm mostly joking, but it's good to hear that there's a bit of a mix out there. It sounded like the specific examples I was hearing were all horizontal, but maybe a few verticals. And then the last thing about trying during the day, yes, I will be
trying to work 10 and 40 meters on my upcoming vacation to the Midwest, Indiana. So maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to catch a couple of you if the conditions and timing happen to line up, but I won't get my hopes too high on that one. Anyway, thank you for all of you for your responses, and I'll turn it back to Net Control now. AC1 TV, back to N1 FDC.
This is the W1 TOM repeater, TL127.3.
81KU.
This is N1 FTC FCS. That's why this exists, so people can get a little bit of information and maybe learn something they didn't know. KD1KU, this is N1 FTC. Over to you, Ken.
Yeah, thank you, Phil. Yeah, Ellie, as you have already figured out, that polarization does make a big difference, as does noise. You're all on ground wave in this situation too. If just throw something else out there, if you want to try a different net with different people, you can try the Monday night net, right, which Gary, W1JZR, is further north and might give you a better chance of hearing him. And that's on Monday evenings at 7 p.m. and 28.375, 28.375. Just another thought, another idea to throw around here to try to hopefully help you out a little bit more. Back to you, and then you can hand it back to Phil. KD1KU.
Thank you, KD1KU. This is AC1 TV. All right, roger that. 28.375, Monday nights, 7 p.m. I will hopefully be able to get into that at some point. I'm going to be traveling soon, so probably not within the next few weeks, but maybe sometime in January. I'll see if I can check into that. Thank you for the tip. Anyway, AC1 TV, back to N1 FDC.
Good idea, Ken. And this is N1 FTC MCS. Are there any other further comments, questions, or late check-ins? Call MCS, N1 FTC. Late check-in. What's the late check-in?
Good evening, one and all. I was just finishing up on the 10-meter net, or 10-meter roundtable net from POTA 413. This is Kilo 1, Victor Whiskey, Quebec. Apparently, I'm on the 440 side. Just happened to be where I turned the radio on. And good evening, all. No other traffic. Just happened to be here. We're commercial power, and thanks for being there, Phil.
Joining me this evening. We were in fact just discussing the 10-meter nets and the access and who can hear what. So, okay, welcome. Okay, well, I'm going to have one more call. Questions, comments, late check-ins before we roll into the SwapNet.
This is Kilo Bravo 2, Uniform Zulu Yankee, Brian Springfield. Good evening, Phil. Good evening to all in that on a 2-meter link. Battery power.
This is Kilo 1, Mike Alpha Lima, Chris, Columbia, Connecticut. Commercial power, no traffic.
N1 FTC WB1 EMA with a suggestion. Stand by WB1 EMA, welcoming WB2 UZY. And Chris, what was your call again? I missed the last character.
Yes, call sign is K1MAL. Kilo 1, Mike Alpha Lima.
Right, I actually didn't get it correct. Welcome, Chris. Welcome to K1MAL. WB1EME, WB1EME. What do you got over there, Brian? Over to you. Dylan. Okay,
Okay, my suggestion is the gentleman that was looking for the gin pool make an inquiry of KB2UZY. Now that he's on the air, he might be able to help him out. So back to you.
The possibility of doing BWB. That was you looking for the gin pool, right, Jerry?
This is KC1BWB. Yes, that's an affirmative. KB2UZY is who I need to look for.
I'll give him direct. This is everyone at DCNCS. Usually what? KB2UZY, N1, DCNCS. Jerry, KC1BWB looking for a gin pool. Can you be of any assistance? This is N1 FDC.
Control, M1 FDC KB. I just walked back in the room, apologize. I heard my name, I didn't get the question. You said something about a gym pole. I could possibly get a gym pole. I think that was Jerry that was calling me. I just walked back into the room when I heard my call there. Over.
Check in, you guys stick around. Yeah, Jerry's looking for a gin pool.
Could possibly get one. I'll have to give him a call and see if I can borrow it, but possibility there. Back to him.
KB2UZY, this is KC1BWB.
KC1BWB, this is KB2UZY. How you doing, Jerry? Good evening. I'll have to give a call to my buddy there. He's got a gym pole there, and I can get back to you tomorrow or maybe tonight.
That would be awesome. Then I could get the beam I got from you up another 10 or even 20 feet.
Great. I'm assuming you put the tower up. Okay. I'll give him a call now or text or whatever and see what we can come up with, and I can get back to you there.
Thank you. When the net's done or even tomorrow, I'm not going to be able to do anything until this weekend or next.
I'll get back to you as soon as I hear from him. Back to net control. This KB2UZY.
KA1KNW with a suggestion.
Justin, go ahead. We got Greg, A1KNW. This is N1 FDC.
A few years ago, we were on a job. We were 50 miles away from the shop, and we all of a sudden needed a gym pole. Well, 50 miles is a long way to get one. However, the hardware store is right down the street, so and there was an electrical wholesaler right next door. So, in the electrical wholesaler, we got a piece of a 10-foot piece of aluminum conduit, and in the hardware store, we bought the pulley bolted to the side of the conduit, and then we got a couple of U-clamps that went around the thing, and we clamped it to the tower. I think the whole project probably took us about 20 minutes between acquisition of the material and just building a gym pole on site. Bing, bam, boom. We had to put up 20 feet of our own 25, and the guy and myself weren't quite cool enough to do it by ourselves because you're working over your head all the time. You don't want to do that. So we actually made a gym pole on the site, and it worked out very, very well. And of course, you're going to need a piece of Dacron rope, which I highly recommend, because those things don't break. You thread through the pulley and haul the thing up yourself. And I think the material cost on that was probably around $18, if I remember correctly. So we got the conduit, which I know is more expensive nowadays, 1 3/4 inch conduit. We got the pulley up above at the hardware store, which was hardly any money at all. I think it was like $2. Bolted to the side, chunk of Dacron rope, which we had in the truck, and we had that tower section up in no time at all. So cost was minimum, and if you can't get a gym pole, sometimes you're just better off making one on the spot. So that's what I would do if I was somebody who couldn't get a gym pole. Back to you there, Phil. K1K and W Mobile.
Suggestion there. That's always a good just in case. That's what makes us ham operators. If you don't have it, make it. All right. Let's see. KC with BWB, KC with BW. This is N1 FTC. Any other questions, Jerry?
This is KC1BWB. Nope, I'm all set. Thanks for that suggestion as well. The other thing that I talked about with another friend was to put two pieces of scaffolding together and we can just lift by hand. Because then we'll be up high enough and try to make it go with that as well. So thank you very much. This is KC1BWB, back to net control.
Thanks, Dario. WV1 EME. Thank you for that suggestion. And KB2U said, why? If you can't do that, well, thank you to Greg. Excuse my cough, that happens this time of year, for that suggestion. All right. Any other questions, comments, late check-ins before we move on to the swap now?
KB2UZY comment.
UZY, go ahead.
Yep, well, that's the same thing that a buddy of mine's got. He did a homemade gym pole, 10 feet, and exactly what Greg said. He put a pulley up on the top and two U-bolts, and a saddle plus the U-bolts, and homemade. So, but this one was a 2-incher, but that's okay. It's all the same. But that's exactly what I was going to get for Jerry. But anyway, that's funny. Back to net control, KB2UZY.
This is N1 FTC. Okay, no more comments, questions, or late check-in. Well, I know, just under 20 check-ins. Thank you, one and all, for making this a very successful InfoNet. And passing around a little bit of information at that. This is November 1, Foxtrot Delta Charlie. The Nets will be held as usual next Wednesday, Christmas Eve. So if anyone wants to pick up the microphone and pass along a Merry Christmas to whoever may be listening, welcome. I hope you will be here. This is November 1, Foxtrot Delta Charlie, and this has been a regular session of the MTARA information at which is held every Wednesday, beginning at 7:30. I wish to thank you all for checking into the W1TR repeater system. MTARA asks if you use our repeaters, please support MTARA. Membership keeps things on the air. This is November 1, Foxtrot Delta Charlie. Turn the repeater back to normal use. Stay tuned for the swap net then. If you're still awake, the N1RLA, the emergency simplex, and I'll be back in about a minute.
KB2UZY. I think the SOPNet and the MNROX will be on different recording operations. Want to check like battery. We'll be right back.
Moving right along, does anyone need to use the repeater?
You have been watching the Mountain and Association's information that N1 FTC would like to
Good
bring to
evening once
MTARA.
more, and welcome to the MTARA SWAPnet. This is November 1, Foxtrot Delta Charlie is at control, and that is every Wednesday around 8 p.m. or after the InfoNet. The purpose of this net is to help amateurs buy, swap, and sell ham radio and related items, as well as computer-related items. Swapnet has two simple rules. No bargaining is allowed on the airwaves. However, asking price and give a brief description of each item. Please give a phone number or simply can be reached after the net. At this time, are there any licensed amateurs on frequency with item for sale, swap, something you're looking for? Please call now.
Here is Kilowatt Alpha 1, Kilowatt November Whiskey, KA1KNW with a couple of items.
On KWK1KW, it's all you, Greg. Over to you, sir.
All right, thank you very much there, Phil. And this probably couldn't have been timed out any better, especially after all the conversations we had on the net about 10 meters. Well, I have a pair of 10-meter radios. They're TI 2990, which is a base station style radio. You know, you got a wall outlet, you plug it into the wall outlet, you put an antenna on it, and you're on the air. I got a pair of them. They're both in the box. I'm not sure if there's any accessories with them, but I think the only accessory is a microphone. I'm not sure if they're with them. And I got this in a horse trade. I fix these things myself, but I can't stand these radios, so I just leave them alone. However, I did take the covers off to see what I had, and both of them look real clean on the inside. However, one of them has a on and off switch, which looks like it was jumpered with a piece of jumper wire. So I don't know whether the switch failed and somebody just jumped it on, or maybe there was something else going on that they had to do that. Both of them power up, but they don't seem to work after that. I think one of them may have a bad set of finals, and the other one unknown. The one with the power switch, I don't know what the story is with that, because I don't like to work on those radios. And the radios themselves are pretty good, but it's what happens to them after they get into a customer's hand. First thing they do, take the covers off them and then tweak them up. They think they can get 150 watts out of those radios, and you probably could if you had an external power supply, but the supply that's in them, these are newer version radios. These have the 22 amp Meanwell power supplies in them. They're not the RCI style power supplies. These are the two Meanwell power supplies, which is a better deal. So they're the newer versions, and both of them don't work. They power up, work. I didn't get into what's wrong with them because I didn't want to. I got these things on a horse trade. Reluctantly, I took them, and I just popped the covers off just to make sure they weren't all butchered or anything. No, they're all nice and clean on the inside. However, they are in the box. They're taking up an awful lot of room in my house, and I'd like to see them gone for about $150 a piece. So here's a real good opportunity for somebody to pick these things up, fix them, and if you want to keep one, that's cool. You want to blow the other one out the door, these radios are $500 or $600 all day long, brand new. So they're a nice radio. They're good shape. There's not a lot of saddle wear on them. They're in really pristine shape, actually. So $150 a pop. Get them out of my house, and so that's the deal. I can be reached at. Let me do a rekey. I can be reached at area code 860-490-3848. I'll repeat that one more time. That's area code 860-490-3848. And just be advised, I don't answer the phone when I'm driving, when the car's in motion, so please leave a message and I'll get back to you. Or you can text me on that number, so I can get a hold of either way. So good deal for somebody that's a little technically involved and get those radios working. They're a good money maker if you can. $150 a piece, you can't beat it. Back to you there, Phil. N1FDC, KA1KNW Mobile.
Anyone interested in further involvement with a question, call 1KW Direct, N1FDC Net Control. MK1JW. This is Edwin at DC. SwapNet, there are the other listings for SwapNet. Good luck with those. Okay, this has been a regular session of the MTA area SwapNet. Just until after the end vote. Please stay tuned for the N1RLX emergency suplex net. Right into that. Right along. Does anyone need to use their repeater? This once more. Good one, Following information.
Your call sign.
Current location. Power on. Just like to check in. First letter suffix Alpha. Mike. Please call now. Okay, I'll go. Here is Whiskey 1 Juliet Zulu Romeo here in Holyoke. And we'll be running 200 watts on this flex. So,
Okay, they're in. We're looking for 3 minutes.
cellular JZR. Check-in. First letter suffix November. Papa. Call now. Here is November 1 Papa. Victor X-Ray. Stephen Westfield. This will be 50 watts tonight, Phil. Last call group in. First letter suffix, Quebec, Zulu. This is Alpha Charlie 1 Tango Victor, Ellie in Northampton. I will be using 5 watts and a bit of ambition tonight. This is Kilo Charlie 1 Uniform Hotel India, Willis Westfield, 75. It's 5 watts, it's too selected. Are there any further check-ins for the O1RLX? First letter suffix, Alpha Zulu Zulu. Call now.
After anyone PDF this one, then we will just stop the the recording because I am exhausted. Whew. By the way, AM sound up will be recorded on Friday.
Paragon simplex, occultations for that you check here. Hopefully you can hear in this signal spreading. In the winter, stations that they have the net 2146.55. 46.55. RLX emergency simplex message. Gary. November 1. Temporarily signed. The 9-4.
Looks like we're not gonna have to do the M1RX because it has been pretty bit dark here.
And then we put the mac and cheese in the oven to make sure that it has a nice melted crust right on top.
Is this frequency in use? Is this frequency in use?
This is in, remind me not
No,
to forget about
we
it,
can't.
okay?
I'm not gonna do anything on wall blocks today, unfortunately.
How you feel?
Frequency in use. This is frequency in use.
Cooking those sweet potatoes, right? Let's get them into the microwave. This seems like...
And nothing heard.
Yes, it does.
This is November 1, Foxtrot, Delta Charlie, still with net control 4. The N1RLX emergency simplex net. Listen for the following station, starting us up to speed. 31JZR. 31JZR, this is N1N. Alright. N1FDC, W1JZR here indeed. And as always, full scale. There's on the bar. Back to net control from W1JZR. And of course, full scale here on all three nets. Well, we're running almost an hour this evening. Unusual and quite welcome, actually. All right, N1PVX at 51. N1FCC at CF.
Are we almost ready to go up in a couple minutes?
Hold on a second. I'm gonna go upstairs to get the M1 PVX. Which I'm getting something from the M1 PVX.
Here's your deal coming in to Chicopee this evening. Thank you also, Steve, for hanging in there with me this evening. It's the AC1 TV, Ellie. You hear net control or anybody else? Over to you.
No. That's it. H25. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.